It was the night before the shattering, and all through the house, everybody wanted to see some crazy Mythic spoilers! Bum bum billy boo, it's the Wonder Historian. Hello! Greetings, Stone Seekers! I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for part of the Call of the Stones spoiler season. I have been blessed with some of the most bonkers cards you are ever gonna see. We have mythical goodness for every orbital. So let's not waste any time. Let's go. We're starting out our tour of mythical insanity in the Solfera orbital with Crimson Reaver, the Bloodline Ender. What a satisfying name for a legendary sword. And the abilities on this card definitely live up to that name. On arrival, you get to choose a class from any that exist in the game. And whenever equipped wonder battles, destroy each wonder of that class here. On top of that, the equipped wonder gets +3. The most obvious use of this is against decks that are using a heavy tribal concept, because the more wonders that share a type, the more you're going to get to destroy in one go. But it's also most often the case that just taking out your opponent's biggest wonder can be enough for you to claim victory. And on top of being able to do that, you're going to get that power boost as well. So you have a situation where this sword is going to turn the tide of battle very, very easily. And if you have the ability to shift the wonder equipped with this around to different realms, it gets even grosser. And it only costs 4 to put out. This is a very, very solid card, and the artwork is also quite enjoyable. The sword itself looks like it's got magma playing along the blade, and it looks like the pommel piece is literally made out of a dragon's claw. So this is dripping not just with magma, but also with epic flavor. And it's interesting to see a sword that is going to be used to basically end an entire line of people just held there in what looks like a mostly calm pose. After that, we have the mind-boggling Shadow's Reach. So this is a legendary land. On harvest, trigger the on-harvest ability of another target land that has not triggered this round. So you can use this on tapped lands, you can use this on untapped lands, it's irrelevant. As long as that land has not gone off this turn specifically, you get to copy it, which gives you access to not just abilities of your own lands, but you'll notice that this actually applies to your opponent's lands as well. So the more powerful lands they bring into play, the more options you have at your disposal. And the artwork is very, very interesting to me. Shadow's Reach is a crazy name considering it seems like there would be barely any shadows here with how many lights there are. When I first looked at this, I thought it was actually candles, and I thought threading that pathway would be a nightmare if you were wearing a cloak. But then after looking closer, it appears that they are just endless lamps, and the pathway itself is the most interesting part to me. If you look at it, it looks like it's literally made out of stretched, webbed shadows. It looks like it would be quite perilous to actually travel down along this path. The flavor text says, "For a glimpse, give 7 miles." Essentially, this thing looks like it goes on endlessly and is a very powerful card. After that, we have the Pocket Watch of Seasons, which out of all of the artworks today is actually my total favorite. So this is a legendary item that gives equipped wonder +3. While this is equipped to a legendary wonder, lands controlled by opponents here lose all orbital links and can't be used for attuned abilities. So if they're playing something where they're taking advantage of a lot of orbital link attuned abilities, all of a sudden that's pulled out from under them. You've yanked the rug, and now you've slowed them down on top of boosting up your guy. It is balanced out by the fact that it has to be equipped to a legendary wonder, so you have to get that wonder out first. But taking away orbital links is a powerful ability, and people having to pay full action costs for cards they normally wouldn't is going to slow down your game plan considerably when you only normally get 3 actions a turn. So ultimately a very interesting addition. It will remain to be seen how much this actually impacts the game overall, depending on how fast you can get it rolling. The flavor text says, for McCracken the Trader, it is everything. Well, I want to be McCracken this from a booster pack. Like I said, I love this artwork. The tree caught here inside the pocket watch. I absolutely love pocket watches. The idea of a magical pocket watch that hoses your opponent adds that much more to it. Then we've got Mechanicsburg, which is just dripping with a ton of flavor. So this is a legendary land pirate town, okay? Whenever an opponent passes, you may create a 1-power pirate token in a realm where you control a ship or airship. This is super interesting to me because there are ways that your opponent will get punished for passing back and forth, where essentially you can go, okay, you've passed, now I pass, the turn ends. But in other situations, you just end up not really getting much of an advantage from your opponent passing. You really just go, okay, I'm going to do something and hand it right back to them. With this, it punishes them every time they pass. And because it's a land you can harvest for actions, it's really easy to include this into your deck. And the flavor of it feels right because you can create pirates specifically where you have a ship or airship. So that's obviously where pirates are going to be hanging out. And I do love the idea of a gigantic floating pirate city. It feels like it would be very easy to include this in a ton of Thalwind decks. After that, we've got the card that I'm most hyped about for my own deck because right now I am running Heliosynth action with my Historianness. So this is Final Protocol Armor. This has a cost equal to the total cost of items in the Abyss. So at the beginning of the game, if you have nothing in the Abyss, you can literally put this out for free. And it gives Equipped Wonder plus X, where X is equal to the total cost of items you control. And obviously with this orbital, it's all about taking advantage of items and getting a ton on the board. I have a bunch of items in my deck. So this one, my imagination runs away with me and I just picture gigantic wonders crashing in this armor. And you'll notice it's not even legendary. It's a secondary. So, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first secondary mythic that we've seen. You can literally run 3 copies of this. And the idea that it keeps getting bigger in terms of cost off of the cards in your Abyss means that if you have multiple of these out, they're counting up all the stuff in your Abyss, that's also increasing the cost of these cards, which adds to the overall total because it counts even itself when you're adding up for the power boost. It's genuinely a very exciting ability. I do love sitting there and thinking about how much crushing I'm going to do when I get all my items out on the board. And you have to see what's next because it's absolutely nuts. That is Blutevex, the Shadow Dragon. 10 cost, 11 power. You are paying a lot, but check out what it does. Each opponent's maximum hand size is 3. So normally your hand size is 7. Nah, son. Now my hand size is 7. Yours is 3. Hope you didn't have a bunch of extra cards. Hope you weren't building up because now you just got hosed. And they throw in flying as well. So you can go ahead and move it to adjacent realms to bring the doom all over town. And the dragon itself is fascinating. You take a look at this. This is a dragon comprised of shadow. It has almost a twilight aspect to it, and it's hanging out around all these crazy crystals as well. Ultimately, this is one of those big, exciting, dumb effects where you get to hose your opponent hardcore on top of having a big, dumb dragon. What's not to love? By the time you see this video, I am already in South Carolina for the Call of the Stones Shattering event. The first opportunity to get your hands on these brand new cards. And I am super stoked. So keep your eyes peeled because I will have more Wonders goodness going on down on this channel for anybody who's wondering what's coming up next.